Petter from Norway.
I think it might be Peter.
Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, good. Okay, I just wanted to say why I believe that there is a God that has made, mostly all of the universe. You have to excuse my bad language, but I'm from Norway and I don't really know.
Your English is a lot better than our Norwegian, so thank you very much. Don't worry about it.
Okay. So, the main reason I believe in God is the fact that, let's see here, I don't really believe that evolution is right, because there are a few things that just don't add up for me, and I hope that maybe you could help me sort it out.
Here's the thing that I find curious. Let's assume that evolution is not correct, that our evolutionary theory is wrong. How does that in any way make the God explanation more plausible?
Well, I believe that there is not really a God, some guy that just sits up in the heavens and just governs the whole world, but that there is some power that created everything. Not that he governs the world anymore, but he's just made it and well left. And,
so you would describe yourself as a deist then?
Okay, but...
Yeah, maybe. I don't know the definition.
Sure, okay. But you're talking about... You're basically saying that there must be some explanation for existence, and you're going to call this explanation God. But what can you tell me about this God that you're saying created everything? Is it, or was it, if it doesn't exist anymore, an intelligent being? And how do you know that?
I don't think it was like an intelligent being, but just some sort of power that created a lot of stuff. Okay, the reason is that some things in evolution just doesn't add up for me. For example, if you take poisonous frogs, they're poisonous, but according to evolution, that just doesn't make up. How would they have a longer lifespan than other frogs that are not poisonous?
Well, it's probably because their poison is not necessarily poisonous to themselves. It's if. Like I said, Matt and I are not experts on biology, but I'm quite sure.
But I am a big fan of poison dart frogs.
Yeah.
Who actually are not naturally on their own biologically poisonous. It's a product of the ants that they eat produces an alkali that allows them to create the biotoxins that they have. But let's say there's two different species of frogs, and one of them develops this ability to secrete a poison from their skin, and the other one doesn't. Now, for an individual, they are equally likely to be eaten by a predator, for the individual. But for the group, the ones that are poisonous are less likely to be eaten, because if for example, I see Martin eat this frog and fall over dead, I'm going to stay away from those frogs, and I may instead go eat the other frogs that I've seen Steve eat, and he didn't die from. I mean, there are plenty of reasons that this would allow for the improvement or the continuation of a species.
Yeah, but as you said, the individuals have the same opportunity to get eaten, and
right.
If you had two frogs in a large group, that one had a mutation that made him poisonous, and he gets eaten. That doesn't do anything for him. That just
correct.
ends him right there.
Right, but remember that evolution is something that takes place among populations, not among individual organisms. So, in the example that Matt gave, once it became very clear to other life forms, other predators, that hey, if you eat the yellow frogs, you'll die. And if you eat the green frogs, you won't die. They'll stop eating. Some yellow frogs will get eaten because that's how you find out that eating the yellow frogs is a bad thing. But eventually you stop eating the yellow frogs, you just concentrate on the green frogs, which enables the yellow frogs to propagate their species more. That gives them an evolutionary advantage. And it also means that the predators go on to other prey. And so that is, in fact, a way in which evolution can benefit that particular species over one that doesn't quite have as good a defense mechanism.
But to hit your specific point where you said, let's say one frog evolved as, first of all, that's not quite the way evolution works. But, okay, yes, in that case, it would have been no benefit for the frog. That's why 99% of the species that have ever existed have gone extinct. What you're seeing among the living creatures are those whose mutations have either produced a benefit or not produced a negative, something that would hinder their ability to propagate the species. But yeah, I mean, it's possible that over the course of life, there have been, I don't know how many millions of species who evolved some quirky thing that turned out either at that time or at any time to not be beneficial. There's nothing intrinsically beneficial about the ability to secrete poison.
I think that there's quite a lot of literature out there that you can just go ahead and read up on to fill some of these, sort of areas where you have holes in your knowledge and you have questions where things just don't seem to make sense. But earlier, getting back to your original question, none of this ultimately really ties into whether or not there was some sort of force, as you put it, to have created everything in the first place.
Yeah, and
they're separate questions.
If I hate to pick on your original argument because we've already gotten past that. Your assertion was that there was this power that got everything started and then kind of went away. Well, if that's what happened, then evolution is the mechanism that power necessarily used if it went away and doesn't intervene. You're arguing against two different points. If you find objections to evolution that you're just not convinced, and you're going to use that for an argument for the existence of God, then you are necessarily arguing for God that tinkers throughout history with the progress, not just a God who starts everything off and leaves it rolling. I'd recommend going to talkorigins.org because what you're going to find is not just how does something like the ability to secrete a poison evolve. There are more curious features among species in evolution where you have two different species that are completely dependent upon each other for their survival.
Right.
This kind of synchronistic evolution and process. So
we're like that, right? I mean, if we didn't have the bacteria that live in our gut to digest our food.
But they might not need us. I don't know. There may be some of each, but
yeah.
It's a huge, long, lengthy process. And not being experts, definitely recommend Talk Origins.
Yeah. We're informed laymen where evolution is concerned, but there is a lot of expert knowledge out there that's available to the general public.
You can visit the website, atheist-experience.com, the ACA's website, atheist-community.org, and you can email us at tv@atheist-community.org for more information about the show or to send in feedback, questions, criticism.
Yes. And don't forget our blog at atheistexperience.blogspot.com. That's the AE blog. We have something like 300 people on our followers list as of today. We want to get that up to 500, so visit the blog and be a reader and follow us and all that fun stuff.
And I actually posted during TAM.
You did.
Nobody thought I would.
You did.
Including me.
7 whole posts, which is more we've gotten out of you in the last year, so I'm very proud of you, and thanks for sharing the TAM experience with us.
That's what I'm here for, to share the experience.
You are the man.
And if you're in the Austin area and want to join us, we're going to be heading to dinner here in about probably 20 minutes.
To eat a bunch of chickens who didn't secrete enough poison to protect themselves, so they have lost the evolutionary.
If they had developed the poison,
if only.
We wouldn't be...
Actually, some of the wing spots they have at Pluckers is pretty close, but I wasn't going to say anything.
It's hot. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week with Jeff D.
Bye.
Oh, and now you can push the button to play the music again.
Music? Music? Again? More music?